The king cobra is not simply the largest venomous snake on Earth. It is a biological statement. Where most snakes rely on concealment, speed, or sheer venom potency, the king cobra operates on an entirely different level. It dominates not just through size, but through awareness, behavioral complexity, and an evolutionary confidence that places it at the top of its ecological hierarchy. This is not a creature shaped by fear. It is a creature that inspires it. Stretching up to 5.5 meters in length, the king cobra commands space the moment it enters an environment. Yet its presence is rarely chaotic. Unlike many snakes that flee instinctively, the king cobra assesses. It watches. It decides. This hesitation is not weakness, it is intelligence. Few reptiles display such deliberate behavioral control, and fewer still demonstrate it under threat. Evolutionarily, the king cobra belongs to the genus Ophiophagus, a name that translates directly to snake eater. This is not metaphorical. While it will consume lizards, rodents, and birds when necessary, its primary prey consists of other snakes, including venomous species. In ecological terms, this makes the king cobra a regulator of regulators, a predator that preys on predators, maintaining balance within some of the most complex ecosystems on the planet. The king cobra's distribution spans dense rainforests, bamboo thickets, mangroves, agricultural lands, and forest edges across South and Southeast Asia. It does not require pristine wilderness. It requires structure, cover, prey diversity, and climatic stability. This adaptability has allowed it to survive alongside human expansion longer than many similarly sized predators. Physically, the king cobra is built for dominance without excess. Its body is long and muscular, optimized for lifting rather than coiling. When threatened, it raises up to 1/3 of its body vertically, reaching eye level with a standing human. The iconic hood flares not as decoration but as a visual amplifier, increasing perceived size and broadcasting intent. This is a warning system refined over millions of years. Do not proceed. Unlike other cobras, the hood markings of the king cobra are relatively subtle. There are no bold eye spots designed to mimic larger animals. Instead, the king cobra relies on posture, height, and movement. Authority does not need exaggeration. The venom of the king cobra is often misunderstood. In raw toxicity, it is less potent per milligram than that of some smaller snakes. This has led to a dangerous underestimation. What matters is not concentration but volume. A single bite can deliver enough venom to kill an adult elephant or incapacitate a human within minutes if untreated. The venom itself is neurotoxic, shutting down communication between nerves and muscles, leading to respiratory failure rather than tissue destruction. Yet the king cobra does not waste venom. It practices venom economy, delivering dry bites or partial envenomations when appropriate. This level of control indicates neurological sophistication rarely attributed to reptiles. Venom is metabolically expensive. The king cobra understands this at an instinctive level. Behaviorally, king cobras are largely solitary, except during mating season or when a female guards her nest. This guarding behavior represents one of the most astonishing deviations from typical snake biology. The king cobra is the only snake species known to actively build nests for its eggs. Using coils of its body, it gathers leaves and debris into a raised mound, protecting eggs from flooding and temperature fluctuations. Once the eggs are laid, the female remains nearby, aggressively defending the nest. This maternal behavior is not symbolic, it is lethal. Intruders are confronted without hesitation. However, once the eggs hatch, the female departs, ensuring she does not prey upon her own offspring. This balance between protection and restraint is rare in the reptilian world. The hatchlings emerge fully venomous, capable of delivering fatal bites from the moment of birth. There is no training period. Survival begins immediately. This evolutionary strategy compensates for the lack of prolonged parental care. The world they enter is hostile, and mercy is not part of the equation. Communication in king cobras extends beyond hissing. They produce low-frequency growls, vibrations that travel through the ground, and visual signals through posture and movement. These signals are used both in territorial disputes and in mating interactions. Two males may engage in ritualized combat, lifting their bodies and attempting to pin one another without biting. The goal is dominance, not death. This restraint again highlights a recurring theme. The king cobra does not seek unnecessary conflict. It seeks resolution. Despite its power, the king cobra is vulnerable. Habitat destruction, deforestation, road mortality, and human fear pose constant threats. Many are killed not out of necessity but out of misunderstanding. In regions where king cobras are respected or culturally protected, populations remain more stable. Where fear dominates, eradication follows. Culturally, the king cobra occupies a near mythical status. In many Asian traditions, it is associated with guardianship, wisdom, and spiritual power. Temples, folklore, and symbolism often depict it not as evil, but as a force that must be acknowledged and respected. These interpretations align far more closely with biological reality than modern sensationalism. The king cobra does not chase humans. It does not hunt indiscriminately. It reacts when boundaries are crossed. Most bites occur when the animal is cornered, stepped on, or deliberately provoked. In this sense, the king cobra mirrors the logic of apex predators everywhere. Conflict is costly, avoidance is efficient. In the forest, the king cobra moves like a slow certainty. It does not rush because it does not need to. Everything about its existence suggests a creature that knows its place in the world and occupies it fully. The intelligence of the king cobra is not speculative. It is observable. In controlled environments and in the wild, king cobras display spatial memory, threat assessment, and adaptive response patterns that exceed what is typically expected from reptiles. They remember nesting sites, hunting routes, and shelter locations across vast territories. This memory allows them to operate efficiently in complex environments such as dense rainforests and fragmented agricultural landscapes. Unlike ambush predators that rely on static positions, the king cobra is an active hunter. It tracks chemical trails left by other snakes, following scent paths with precision. This form of chemosensory navigation requires not just detection, but interpretation. The cobra must distinguish between fresh and old trails, between prey species, and between potential rivals. This level of discrimination is cognitively demanding and reflects an evolutionary pressure toward neurological refinement. When encountering other snakes, the king cobra does not immediately strike. It assesses size, movement, and resistance. Smaller prey is subdued quickly. Larger or venomous snakes may trigger a more cautious approach, involving repeated positioning and strategic bites aimed at minimizing risk. This is not reckless aggression. It is calculated predation. Territory in king cobras is fluid rather than rigid. Instead of fixed borders, they operate within overlapping ranges defined by prey availability and seasonal conditions. During mating season, these ranges shift, increasing encounters between individuals. Male competition during this period is one of the most striking examples of ritualized combat among snakes. Two males rise vertically, entwining their bodies, pushing and pressing in a contest of strength and endurance. Biting is rare. The objective is dominance, not elimination. The loser retreats, conserving energy and avoiding fatal injury. This behavior suggests an evolutionary understanding that survival outweighs short-term victory. Interaction with humans is where perception and reality diverge most sharply. Popular media portrays the king cobra as hyper-aggressive, constantly poised to attack. Field data tells a different story. King cobras actively avoid human settlements when possible. When encounters occur, defensive displays are prioritized over strikes. The raised posture, hood expansion, and vocal growl are not preludes to attack, they are opportunities for de-escalation. However, modern landscapes compress space. Roads cut through habitats. Farms replace forests. This compression increases accidental encounters. A startled king cobra with no clear escape route becomes dangerous not because it seeks conflict, but because its options are limited. Understanding this distinction is critical for coexistence. Venom delivery during defensive bites often differs from predatory strikes. Studies indicate that king cobras frequently administer dry bites or low venom doses to non-prey threats. This restraint reflects venom conservation and threat evaluation. A full envenomation is reserved for prey or extreme danger. This selective use of venom is rare among snakes and further reinforces the idea of behavioral control. Ecologically, the king cobra occupies a unique position. By preying on other snakes, it indirectly influences rodent populations, amphibian numbers, and even insect dynamics. Removing the king cobra from an ecosystem does not simply eliminate a predator, it destabilizes an entire regulatory network. Secondary snake populations may surge, altering prey dynamics and triggering cascading ecological effects. In regions where king cobras decline, researchers often observe increases in mid-level predators, leading to imbalances that affect agriculture and human health. Ironically, the presence of a highly venomous snake can reduce overall snakebite incidence by suppressing populations of smaller, more aggressive species that are more likely to encounter humans. Cultural relationships with the king cobra reflect this complex reality. In parts of India, Thailand, and Indonesia, the king cobra is revered rather than feared. Folklore frames it as a guardian of forests and water sources. Rituals and taboos discourage killing, promoting coexistence. These cultural protections have measurable conservation outcomes, demonstrating that belief systems can function as ecological tools. Yet modernization erodes these traditions. Fear replaces familiarity. Education gaps widen. As a result, king cobras are increasingly killed on sight. This loss is not just biological, it is informational. Each adult king cobra represents decades of learned survival behavior encoded both genetically and experientially. Climate change introduces additional stressor. Rising temperatures alter prey distribution and breeding cycles. Extreme weather events flood nests or reduce prey availability. While king cobras are adaptable, their slow reproductive rate limits rapid recovery from population declines. One lost breeding female represents years of lost potential. Research on king cobra cognition and behavior remains limited, partly due to the difficulty of studying such a large and dangerous animal in the wild. What we do know suggests that traditional classifications of reptiles as purely instinct-driven organisms are outdated. The king cobra operates on a spectrum where instinct and learned behavior intersect. In moments of stillness, when a king cobra rests beneath foliage or within a burrow, it is not idle. Its sensory systems remain active, constantly sampling chemical, thermal, and vibrational information from its environment. This continuous awareness is energy-intensive, but it ensures readiness. The king cobra does not react late. As night falls, activity patterns shift. While primarily diurnal, king cobras can hunt during twilight or early night when conditions favor prey movement. This flexibility further enhances survival. The snake is not bound to rigid schedules. It responds to opportunity. Human fascination with the king cobra often centers on danger, but danger alone does not sustain a species for millions of years. Intelligence does. Adaptability does. Restraint does. The king cobra survives not because it is feared, but because it understands when fear is necessary and when it is not. To understand the king cobra fully, one must step beyond biology and into meaning. This snake is not merely an apex predator in the conventional sense. It is a structural species, a living framework around which entire ecological relationships stabilize. Apex predators are often defined by what they kill. The king cobra is defined by what it prevents. In ecosystems where the king cobra thrives, balance emerges quietly. Snake populations remain regulated. Rodent numbers stay in check. Disease vectors are indirectly controlled. The absence of the king cobra does not cause immediate collapse, but it initiates drift, a slow unraveling that may take years to reveal its consequences. Nature rarely breaks loudly. It erodes silently. The concept of fear surrounding the king cobra is deeply human. Fear, however, is not a flaw in this context. It is a communication tool. The raised hood, the growl, the vertical posture, these are not expressions of malice. They are warnings encoded in muscle memory and neural circuits. The king cobra does not ambush humans. It negotiates space. This negotiation fails only when humans refuse to read the language of the wild. In philosophical terms, the king cobra represents restraint paired with capacity. It possesses the ability to kill swiftly, yet chooses not to unless necessary. This combination is rare across species, including humans. Power without constant application is not weakness. It is maturity. From an evolutionary standpoint, the king cobra embodies a strategy that values longevity over excess. It does not overhunt. It does not reproduce rapidly. It does not expand aggressively. These traits, while seemingly conservative, are precisely what allowed it to persist through climate shifts, continental changes, and ecological turnovers that eliminated countless other lineages. Modern humanity, by contrast, operates on acceleration. Faster growth, faster consumption, faster expansion. In this context, the king cobra appears almost alien, not because it is dangerous, but because it refuses to hurry. It moves when movement is required. It strikes when striking is unavoidable. Otherwise, it waits. This waiting is not passivity. It is calculation. The future of the king cobra is not predetermined. It hinges on decisions made far beyond the forest floor. Conservation laws, land management policies, public education, and cultural memory all play roles. Protecting the king cobra does not mean eliminating risk. It means understanding it. Education reduces fear. Fear reduction reduces unnecessary killing. Reduced killing stabilizes populations. In regions where coexistence strategies are implemented, safe relocation, habitat corridors, public awareness, human fatalities decrease alongside cobra deaths. This is not coincidence. It is evidence that understanding outperforms eradication. There is also a deeper implication. The king cobra forces humanity to confront its relationship with dominance. Do we destroy what we cannot control, or do we learn to live alongside it? The answer determines not just the fate of one species, but the ethical direction of our interaction with the natural world. In mythology, the king cobra is often depicted as a guardian at thresholds, temples, forests, sacred waters. This symbolism persists because it reflects truth. The king cobra guards transitions between prey and predator, chaos and order, fear and respect. Remove it, and those thresholds collapse. When a king cobra moves through undergrowth, unseen but acutely aware, it carries within it an archive of evolutionary decisions millions of years old. Its nervous system is a living record of what worked and what failed. Its continued existence is not guaranteed, but it is justified, and through balance, not dominance alone. The extinction of the king cobra would not be loud. There would be no final roar. Just an absence, fewer warnings, more imbalance, more reaction, less restraint. And perhaps that is the most unsettling truth. The king cobra does not threaten the world. It reflects it.